America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Steve, could you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry.
Here.
Ms. Reagan.
Present from West Bethel.
King.
Here.
Mr. Brook.
Here.
First, we'll move down to public hearings. This is a public hearing over community bridge fund. Do you have anybody here to speak in favor or against? I did have a conversation with the president of the council, and he did say that we should be able to go through with this year. So if we have anybody that's not here to speak for or against, entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I make a motion, we close the public hearing.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes. Next, we'll move down to appointments. We have appointments for city, county council for people with disabilities. I've had Brandy Webb, Connor Polk, and Tammy Greenwell all reached out, and they're interested in serving on this board. What would be the pleasure of the commissioners?
I make a motion, we approve the appointments.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes. John, do we still have two more appointments for this board?
I think there's at least one. I don't know if you have 4 or 5. Let me take a look here. I think it's 5.
Yes.
President James, I had been serving on that, and I would like to continue.
Well, then we can reappoint Sherry back to that board also. Just get a motion and a second.
Motion to approve.
I'll second it. Steve, can you call the roll?
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes. Well, that would give us our 4 if that's it. Now we can
Come back
back
to
to
it.
that, yeah.
You do have 5 appointments.
Okay. So if anybody else would be interested in serving on this board, you can send your request to commissioners@co.delaware.in.us. Also, if you have any comments or questions concerning this meeting, you can also send those to that. So we'll move to approval for minutes. March 15th, 2021, Commissioners meeting. We also have March 16th, 29th, and 31st, 2021, executive session meetings.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes. Next up, we have presentations. First up, Mark DeFabio, Delaware County Fairgrounds. Morning, Mark.
Good morning, James. Morning, Commissioners. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it. Just wanted to give everybody an update of where we are with the fair after losing a year. All plans are to move forward with the fair for this year, obviously keeping as liquid as possible, making adjustments where need be. Fair dates will be July 12th through the 21st for the 4-H section of it. And the Midway will open up the 19th to the 24th. I've already started working on the Queen contest, which is June 12th. I appreciate all those that have supported it and with sponsorships, and still some sponsorships available, so just contact the fair office. We're still taking entries. We already have 4, so we're excited about that. So we look forward to another great, it'll be the 12th at Muncie Central High School. One of the things that we've done over this past year with the help of, obviously, the commissioners, their ongoing help, we're working on add 2 PP loans. One has already been forgiven, and the other one will soon be forgiven, I hope. Otherwise, I'll be getting a job somewhere to pay it off, I guess. I don't know. We financially, right now at this point, you have a report that Donna Patterson has filled out. And we're really in very, very good shape, obviously, because of the help of the loans and the ongoing support of the commissioners with what they did. We basically, even with losing what all we did lose last year, are basically in the same state of financial security to begin the fair as we have in the past. We do have numerous new things going on this year that we have not had for a while. Number one would be the parking for the Ball State football games. That is done. We usually get, we have 3 games. They do 3 days, day before, day of, and the day after for parking using the fairgrounds. So that's gonna turn into about $9,000 in new money for this year. The AKC Dog Show, which we normally have every year in August, they obviously canceled last year. We will do it again this year. They have confirmed right now. Plans are moving forward for that. So that's always a huge event that we're very excited about to bring it up again. We do have the new contract for Mid-America, the Andy Houston, and those guys have been tremendous. He has agreed to increase his payment for security moving forward the new contract, which is very, very nice of them on their behalf. Because as we know, security is very costly. Thank God we have the sheriff who does what he can to make it as affordable as possible, and I thank him very much for that. Winter storage, we did have rate increase in 2020 of October, and that turned over to be about $6,500 of an increase of 2019, which was very good. We did lose some customers with that rate increase, but that was okay because we were replaced by they were all replaced by a waiting list that we have and we continue to have, and we still have it. Storage is basically 121 units stored in 5 buildings. People are not aware that we do storage, and people are not aware of how affordable our rates are compared to other places. So that has been very, very good. I cannot begin to thank Brett and Marcia, the staff at the fairgrounds, for what they've done during this time. Brent has been very, very busy going from 2 down to 1. Hopefully we will change that once we get moving with more revenue from rentals. And Marcia just maintains it on a tremendous level of professionalism and doing what she can for wherever it's needed to be done. New rentals that we have coming for this year, we have an ongoing signed contract for the flea market, which is 8 shows for this year. Something new with our partnership with Ball State University, we have a sorority that's going to do a drive-in movie fundraiser in April, so we're excited about that, see how that works out for them. But that's something new, once again, that we're using our fairgrounds as completely as we can. Shipshewana on the Road, which was canceled last year, but they're coming back again this year, which will be very good. That is just a huge event with many, many people, and Sheriff, we have instructed them to contact your people because they need to learn how to park this time, and so that's one of the things we're going to do with them. We did sign a new partnership with for 9 events this year with IPW, which is the Indiana Powerhouse Wrestling Association. They had one of the first events that we had when we opened up, lessened capacity regulations. They did a very, very good job. They're an excellent organization, and I appreciate what they're done. And to sign that new partnership is going to be some nice money for us. Simpler Time Antique Show is a new event again. These guys have gone around the state, I believe, and we have 2 events booked with them. We have a independent who's bringing in a monster truck show in the grandstands in May 8th. We have a twirling competition that's new this year. Masterworks gardeners are going to be here for their plant sale as usual. And we have the open swine show on May 22nd and 23rd. We also continue to do what we can to help anybody throughout the county wherever we're needed. Red Cross blood drives. We have done 17 so far from April of 2020 to scheduled till through June of 2021. That is basically all that I have. I just, once again, want to thank the commissioners as always for the support that they have given us over the years. We continue to do more and more with what we have. We do have a ceremony coming up in June where we will be naming the new building, that being the Farm Bureau building. We've developed a partnership with them. President Hyatt and the people over there, the organization there have been very, very good to us. We do have a new building, the shelter for which John Catino and the emergency management use during the winter. Weights and Measures use it too. And so we're going to make some improvements with that, we hope, with the continued partnership with them. So we're very excited about that. That'll be we're going to do that the week of the fair. And once again, the Farm Bureau people have just been outstanding, and they've supported the fair as well in the fairgrounds. So I'll answer any questions that anybody may have, but once again, thank you for all the support that we get.
I don't have any questions, Mark, but I want to thank you also. You know, when the pandemic hit, we were really concerned. Mark and I had meeting after meeting talking about the future of the fair and the fairgrounds itself, you know, and we was kind of worried that we may lose the fair board and the grounds if they couldn't get the money. So Mark and Donna both fought hard to get the PPP grants, and that helped tremendously. But Mark, your leadership and your board members stuck in there, and we made it work, and we picked up right where we left off last year. So I just want to tell you thanks and make sure your board knows that the commissioners say thanks to.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it. Yeah, it is. I always say it's the hardest working volunteer board in the county, and anybody who disputes that, love to have you come on, be a board member, and then we'll show you what work's all about. Because, and then as you mentioned with Donna, she really is really, really good about making sure that she instills the fear in us that we do not spend anything without getting Donna's approval. Plain and simple, that's how it's done, okay? I've grown a real like and respect for her husband, that he's still alive and hasn't killed her, quite frankly. But God bless Floyd, that's all I can say. It's better him than me. And finally, I did forget, we are doing another 50-50. Last one, the woman won $950, I think it was. So get with us, we'll give you the tickets, we'll hopefully draw them in about a couple of weeks. So there's no more questions. Thank you very much, I appreciate it again.
Thank you, Mark. Next, we have up United Consulting.
Good morning. I'm John St. Giorgio with United Consulting. I won't take up too much of your time today. I know that the bridge inventory is not as fun as the fairgrounds unless you're a nerdy bridge engineer like I am. Our firm is under contract to provide inspection services for Delaware County. The contract covers a 4-year period, which started in October 2017. These bridge inspections are required by the Federal Highway Administration every 2 years for any county bridge with a span length greater than 20 feet. These inspections keep the county in compliance with federal bridge inspection standards, and then the county will be reimbursed by the Federal Highway Administration for 80% of the inspection cost on this contract. This morning, I'm presenting the inventory report based on our findings from the second phase of inspections, which was completed in October 2020. The report there contains several summary reports in the front that are useful to the county in understanding the condition of the bridges in the inventory, including a bridge asset management plan, which will help them in budgeting for the future. In addition to the summary reports, each of the 195 bridges in your inventory has its own individual structure, inventory, and appraisal report, which is a 4-page report detailing our inspection findings for each bridge. The flash drive in front of you contains a digital copy of the report. as well as an interactive map that allows you to click on a bridge and bring up the inspection report and photos. Just kind of want to show you what that looks like here. So here's the cover page of the report, assuming it comes up. So here's a cover page of the report. You can click on this Go to County map and it'll take you to the map of the county. And if you're looking for your specific township or district, you can just click on that township. It'll bring up all the bridges in that particular township, and you can click on a bridge, and that brings you straight up to the inventory report. That'll give you photos, sketches, notes and details about each bridge. I know obviously it's hard to see on the screen, as well as maintenance recommendations. That's there on the report. Just click back to the township map, back to the county map, and that brings you back to the county map. So there's an interactive report on each of those flash drives. Right, to help you navigate through this report, we've given each of you a summary sheet that identifies the location of the critical summary reports you may be interested in. That's in the middle of the page there with each page number. This includes where you can find a listing of maintenance needs for your bridges, a summary of the bridges that have load postings, as well as recommendations we've made here for structures that should be programmed for replacement or rehabilitation in the near future. On the back side of the summary sheet, you can find statistics on how Delaware County compares to the rest of the state. You can see the average age of bridges in Delaware County is approximately 45 years old, which is a tad higher than the rest of the state. And depending on the structure type and traffic, the anticipated service life for a bridge is usually between 50 to 75 years. So to ensure you get the most life out of your bridges, the county should anticipate continuing to budget for additional maintenance and repairs in the coming years. This work could include concrete patching of the decks, bridge deck overlays, placing additional riprap, fixing erosion, etc. I'd like to commend Angie Moyer for understanding the importance of this ongoing maintenance. The engineering department has been doing a great job of addressing recommendations we've made. And this maintenance saves the county money by prolonging the bridge life and keeping the bridges off the replacement list and in good structural condition. As you can see, Delaware County has a higher than average number of bridges at 195, but has actually been able to keep their sufficiency ratings higher than most Indiana counties. These sufficiency ratings are essentially a one number fits all. That is an aggregate score of geometrics, bridge condition, load rating, etc. So these high sufficiency ratings are a testament to ongoing bridge maintenance and timely replacement, especially considering the age of your bridges. So since we've started working with Delaware County, the total load posted bridges in the county has dropped from 27 to 20, which is approximately 25%. One of the major goals of the Highway Department is to eliminate load posted bridges from the county by either replacement or rehabilitation. The county has replaced recently 12 bridges and rehabilitated 2 bridges since our involvement. The engineering department has been very aggressive in pursuing federal funding to aid with a lot of their bridge replacements and rehabilitations. The priority schedule in our report shows our estimation of bridges that we recommend replacing or rehabilitating in the near future with our estimated costs. These are prioritized by different things, including structural condition, load capacity, traffic needs, and so on, with input from the county as well. A lot of these are your older bridges that are, some of them with load postings. We're recommending 21 bridges replacement in the near future, totaling approximately $18.6 million, and 20 bridges for rehabilitation totaling approximately $15.8 million. So that's kind of our 6-year projection there, and you can find these reports again in the flash drive or in the front of the hard copy of the reports. So in summary, it's been a pleasure working with Delaware County this past few years. Our goal with these contracts is to be an extension of the engineering department. We try to work hard to understand their needs, customize the reports to what you're looking for, and help you implement a plan to preserve the condition of the bridges in your inventory. I'd like to thank the commissioners for giving us the opportunity to work on this contract. We truly appreciate this and hope to continue our relationship in the future. So at that time, I'd be happy to answer any questions you have, go over anything in the report might need.
Anybody have any questions?
Commissioner Reagan has one. We do appreciate you working with Angie and on all the work she does. Could you say quickly, maybe how many more additional staffing that we could use in the bridge department as you speak?
I feel like Angie would probably have a better idea than I would. I know they have a maintenance staff that has been running around keeping up with the bridges. I think Angie would be better spoken to say how busy or not busy they've been with trying to keep up with our recommendations. I will say from phase 1 to phase 2, which is a 2-year period, when we would go out and inspect the bridges, we did see a lot of our maintenance recommendations were addressed. So while there are still some to address, we never see every county get to every single recommendation we have.
Sure.
We try our best. I'm not sure if John's familiar with our staffing, but we could always use more, Sherry.
And that's what
We
I
have
think,
basically one crew, so.
right. And
Sherry, I've spoke with Tommy Humbert a few times, and probably 3 additional employees would probably get us to where we need to be with the bridge. And I know we're probably going to need a couple more employees on the highway side with the paving that we're going to be doing this year also. But we'd have to go to council and ask for those positions there. Maybe we could use some of that new federal funding from the government on that. But like I said, we'd have to go and speak with the county council on that. So,
well, let's shoot for 3 and we'll probably end up with 1 or 2. Thank you.
okay.
I just want to thank John and Jeff and United. They have a great team. They're very responsive when I have questions. So kudos to you guys. Thank you for your
Yes.
hard work.
It's been great working with you guys.
Make sure we get an extra set for Commissioner Riggin too, please.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you.
guys.
Next, we have the hardest hit fund blight elimination program. Mr. Bishop?
Thank you, Jan.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Morning.
All right, let me fix the. There we go. My name is Zane Bishop. I work for the city of Muncie. I'm currently a community development planner. In the past, I've been the blight elimination program administrator. As you can see, there's a number of program level partners for this demolition program. And specifically since the commissioners were one of the biggest local partners, I just wanted to kind of provide basically a closeout report for the program. Depending on how you count it, and just for ease sake, we demolished roughly 250 residential structures within city of Muncie limits. That is more than was originally applied for. We were able to use basically cost savings for the original 208 awarded to the city to demolish an additional approximately 41 structures. Overall, we spent about $3.7 million through the program, the majority of which, like probably 98% of which, was reimbursed by the state, the Indiana Housing and Community Development Authority. The Muncie Redevelopment Commission did cover the approximately $125,000. That was not covered just due to budget overages. I won't go into it into too detail, but essentially there's different line items and some of them are pretty tight. And we did have some pretty costly demolitions, but it was still worth it for us overall to just go and demo it through the program, even if it was a little over budget. In that 3.7 million, we did spend over 200,000 to the county via the treasurer's office, auditor, quarter, et cetera. And we spent over $2.4 million to local tax-paying companies, such as demolition contractors, mowing contractors. The Muncie Redevelopment Commission, specifically through your support, was the primary program partner. We also partner with the Muncie Land Bank, Habitat, and some churches, as well as some private individuals that owned structures that, for one reason or another, were in severely unsafe conditions, but were not able to, cover that cost themselves, including, just an example of that would be, they're not necessarily bad landowners. I know an SUV ran into their house and they had issues with their insurance company. And so we were able to partner with that individual. So they still own the house. We were able to use our funds through the state to cover that demolition. Once again, the Redevelopment Commission was able to purchase some with the budgets from the state or have them donated to us. But the majority of the properties that were demolished were with the help of the commissioners. So again, we thank you for your support. I know returning properties to the taxpayers has been a key issue. I'm not necessarily going to say that they're all 83 of those are tax paying, because even 5 years in, I'm still a little confused about the payment and arrears. But 83 have been transferred out of the redevelopment, or essentially, how do I say this? Some of the 83 were owned by the Redevelopment Commission and transferred out, and some were already owned by tax-paying individuals, but and over 100 have actually been transferred out of the MRC's name, not all to necessarily tax-paying organizations at this point, as we transferred some to Habitat or other organizations that we're building a house and then will be tax-paying. So we've made good front on that. I would note that we do have another 25 or so that will have new houses built on them by Miller Valentine. They were awarded state low-income tax credits, so there'll be additional properties transferred out of our name. All of the properties that the Redevelopment Commission has acquired have been offered for sale. Just with a city of over 3,000 vacant lots, there's only so many that are attractive to be acquired, but we are actively marketing them and doing our best to get them out of our name. The end goal is not for us to own them. The end goal is to have a tax-paying and/or productive use for those lots. Even for the properties that have not been transferred, but also including the ones that have been, there's still other benefits and reduced negative externalities on those properties, and which provide benefits to both the city and the county. A lot of the properties that we acquired through the tax sale had been unsold at multiple sales, so that's less administrative burden on you all, as well as significant reduced burden on the city's building commissioner's office, just by having these properties cleaned up. And all that told, essentially properties within 150 feet of a blighted structure reduce the properties around them due to their condition. So whether it's, actually transferring them to a tax-paying source or just getting them cleared, there's benefits for every single one of these properties that were demolished. Just to run through a few before and after photos. This was a rough structure that was falling in on itself over in Riverside, Normal City. It's now a parking lot, which isn't super fun necessarily. However, the owner of this property now was able to move, basically his rental, the parking for his tenants to the lot which he acquired from the Redevelopment Commission after we demolished it, and then that opened up spaces in his commercial lot for additional customers for his salon. Over in Industry, Skylar Case put in a really nice garage on it and has a huge fence for his dogs. Donnie Young in South Central. It's kind of hard to see. There's only so good of photos you can take to show, but they've made good use of this lot. 322 East Washington, the J.C. Johnson house. It sat vacant, fire burnt, collapsing on itself, about ready to collapse for over a decade. And, it was an expensive demolition, but with the funds we had available through the state, we were finally able to take it down. We actually deconstructed it, so a lot of the bricks and the cornices and the limestone were saved, and we hope to put those into some sort of use in the future, but we knew that we didn't necessarily want those going to a landfill. Got some trailers cleaned up over in Southeast. This is taken just last week, but this is a really nice garden that Dr. Daniel over in Miniatures Essential has taken over. And then these two structures on the left, the kind of reddish one and the yellow one, both of those were taken down through the program, and Habitat is currently building a new structure on those combined lots. To the left of the after photo, Eco Rehab completed essentially acquired that property and made that, fixed it up, and it's very energy saving, and that's owned by a tax-paying homeowner now. And then to the right, actually, of that lot, we took down another house, and Habitat's also in the process of building the house there. So, essentially, we just wanted to thank you. I know it was kind of a rough start to the program, and it was certainly slow to start, but we were able to get the job done and come over what we projected. So thank you for everything that you all did.
Well, thank you, Zane. Thank the mayor, Gretchen, Steve Selvey, everybody that's worked cleaning the city of Muncie up. We really appreciate everything you guys are doing now.
Yeah,
Thank you.
bravo. Yeah.
Anybody have anything for Zane? Thanks, Zane. Appreciate it. Next, we'll move to contracts and agreements. First up, we have the emergency declaration 2020-08. John, could you go over this?
Yes. This is an emergency declaration for the commissioners. The governor extended the health emergency for another 30 days to the end of April. I also sent all of you his most recent executive orders. This emergency declaration tracks the governor's executive order. It requires face masks when operating in county buildings and county facilities. It doesn't require face masks outside of that. It does request that people respect businesses that want to continue the face mask provisions, as well as colleges, universities, and schools that are required or may want to continue those. It also suggests that people socially distance when they're interacting with others to help reduce the cases. Since the last emergency declaration on March 15th, there has been an increase in the number of cases in Delaware County, up to over 150 cases, and the positivity rate has also increased since that time as well. We were down well below 2, and now I think we're closer to almost 4 or 5%. So it's still around, it's still there. We have a slight uptick. So this just tracks what the state did.
All right. So the gist of it, if you don't want to wear the mask outside, you don't have to, but respect the businesses that want you to actually continue to wear the mask inside their facilities, correct?
Correct.
We have over 21,000 fully vaccinated people in Delaware County right now. So again, I think I'm probably going to wear a mask if you see me out. I'm going to have a mask on for now. But again, my fear is that if people stop wearing masks, stop social distancing, and just start doing what we've always done, we're going to stay in this until the end of the year, and I do not want that to happen. I have received probably over 100 emails from citizens requesting that we drop the Band-Aid and let them and businesses choose how they want to handle it from this point forward, and I can respect that, but I also You know, some people have problems wearing the mask. I've been wearing a bullet resistant vest for 29 years. And the reason I get up every morning and put that on is because that's the best we have to protect us as law enforcement officers. Same with the mask. It may not be 100%, but it's the best we have. So I would suggest that if you can't socially distance, make sure you have your mask on wherever you're at.
Shannon, I appreciate what you're saying. I am disappointed in item 8 that we are not required to wear them inside. I can see outside, we can do more spacing better, but I am disappointed that we are not requiring them to wear.
Well, Chair, I
Inside.
think we're gonna leave that up to every individual business. That if they want to require people to wear a mask inside, that they respect those businesses to wear them with inside their facility.
Well, I can,
I understand what you're saying on that, but we still have the opportunity, John, if it rises, to go back and change everything again. correct?
Absolutely. Yes, you do.
I'll make a motion, we approve the disaster declaration 2021-08.
second,
Got a motion and a second. Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
no,
Mr. King,
Yes.
And you're required to wear them in Delaware County,
Inside the county building.
inside Delaware County property. So I'll make that clear.
Next, we have the petition to request a cancellation of property taxes, delinquent fees, special assessment, and penalties assessed against real property owned by the city of Muncie. John?
This is a request for some property that's attached, 3211 West Mansfield Drive in Muncie. There were some tax liabilities. This is owned by the city of Muncie. They have filed a petition, which has been approved by the assessor, auditor, and treasurer for the, and this is not an unusual request. The county's done it, and so the city's requesting that the property taxes on this property be removed, canceled, so they can move forward with development.
And I've been working with the treasurer and the mayor on this to get this done so they can move forward with development of this property.
I make a motion, we approve the request.
second.
Have a motion and a second. Mayor, would you like to speak, or we can go ahead and do the vote, but I'll give you the opportunity?
Whichever method, whichever you want to do. I will say that the city of Muncie is appreciative to the commissioners, but also mostly appreciative to the auditor's department, treasurers, and assessor's office, and the legal counsel here for helping put all this together. It's been a few months in the making. These were not taxes that the city owed. This was when we were granted this property, these taxes were already there. So, and I appreciate, and would hope that this will all be a yes vote.
Well, it's working together as a team. It's
Exactly right.
working out for us, Mayor, so.
Exactly right. So we appreciate all of the county's efforts, and I appreciated what Zane did too. We tried to overachieve here in the last year with the blight elimination, and I think working together, we can make a lot of things happen. For Muncie
Absolutely.
and Delaware County.
Yep. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Steve, you want to call the roll?
Ms. Reagan,
Yes,
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes. Next, we'll move to ordinances for second reading. We have an ordinance to reestablish a community bridge fund for Delaware County, Indiana, and increasing the tax rate for the fund pursuant to Indiana Code 6-1.1-41 and 8-161-3.
I move we adopt.
I'll second.
Ron, you like to get up and? Yes, please.
My name is Ron Quakenbush. I'm on the Delaware County Council. Scott Alexander, our president, couldn't be here today. And when you started the meeting, you had the public hearing, and we're not opposed or unopposed, but I did have some questions from taxpayers, and I explained to them that this is a transfer of a tax rate from the general fund to the bridge fund. But I would like the commissioners to explain, and also to the council, what you're voting on today as far as how many pennies on the assessment you're gonna put in the bridge fund and take out of the general fund.
Right. From my understanding, you can correct me if I'm wrong, John, but we were looking at a penny, but it actually comes down to the council, what they want to fund. That if you want to do a half a cent, you want to do a penny, you want to do 2 cents, it's actually up to the council to oppose the rate. Am I correct, John?
That's correct.
We just do this and then it goes to the county council, and then the county council are the ones that actually oppose what rate it's going to be. I hate to say it, but it could go to you guys and you guys could say, no, we're just going to keep it at this rate and we're just going to move on. Or they can say, you know, after looking like at the documents with the bridge inventory and stuff, that you guys could say, yes, we need to help do something with our bridges, so we're going to go up a half a cent or we're going to go up a penny. So right now, we're just creating this. It's going to be up to you guys what rate you set.
It's interesting. As you know, I've had experience in your chair,
Absolutely.
and we actually moved money from the bridge fund, 1 cent, in past history when we had the tax caps.
Right.
And that's kind of what you're trying to get back, but I don't recall that we asked the county council to pass anything. So I think the commissioners at that time just
did it.
reduce it by a penny, and it went that way. So this is interesting. Thank you for the information.
Yeah.
Thanks for explaining it to the general public also.
Yeah, that's fine.
When we wanted to do this, we wanted to do it last year. Council asked us to hold off because of funding purposes, and we did. But I think we had talked about our bridges, and we would like to see more
The
rehab on some of the bridges so they don't cost the major. You know, we don't wait till the bridge goes down and we have a major expense to replace the bridge. So that was kind of our thought. And I think we had talked to Angie, and we told Angie we wanted any money that comes out of this, we want going directly to that, the bridge rehab fund. So I think, what, is there 10 on this? No. There's 5 on this list here, of bridges that need rehabbed right now. But
Actually, it's 20 over the next 6 years.
is that what it is? I just see this little
Around
list here.
$16 million.
Yeah. I don't think this fund will raise quite that.
I don't think so.
I
but I
I
appreciate
believe we
anything
were
we can
looking
get.
at
Wasn't it 300,000?
around $350,000 if what the penny would come up with. And some of the bridges we have, that wouldn't even come close to rehabbing them. So,
Yeah.
Well, you talked about adding bridge crew. If I recall, it almost takes 3 to make a crew, so you don't want to add just 1 employee to expect to get anything done.
no,
So I think that's that
Yeah.
yep.
at the time.
Yep.
That budget time.
So I believe we had a motion and a second.
Yes, you did.
Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
King.
Yes. Next, we'll go to ordinances for first reading, creating a new fund for the receipt of funding from the American Rescue Plan as adopted by Congress in 2021. John, would you?
Yes, here's drafted and sent to you an ordinance that's based upon the American Rescue Plan that was adopted by Congress. This is for payment that is to be received by the county probably sometime this month and also next year. This ordinance is pursuant to the State Board of Accounts directive from March 18th as to what you have to do. we had one of the first drafts of this ordinance, and I sent it to Dave Bodoff at the Association in Indiana County so others could use it, and they are doing that. He sent it to the State Board of Accounts. There are a couple little changes that the State Board of Accounts wants. It doesn't really affect the substance of it. I've made the changes while we've been here and sent them to Jenny. Basically, it's just some wording, because the State Board of Accounts auditors like to be lawyers sometimes. With those amendments, it's changing, creating, take out the word budget in the first paragraph and changing a may to a will for you to adopt the plan. And I think paragraph 5, those are the only two changes. So other than that, this tracks the American Rescue Plan statute on how the money can be used. It just can't be used for replenishment of revenue solely. There's about $11 million the county's going to get in 2021 and $11 million in 2022. Revenue loss is one of those areas. Assistance to coronaviruses, businesses and individuals, and whatever else you guys come up with in your plan to do that. Anything that's not used by 2024 has to be returned to the Treasury Department. So it's a plan to help the county and businesses in the county and individuals.
I'll make a motion, we introduce ordinance number 2021-008 with the amendments you have discussed.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to introduce. Steve, can you call the roll?
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes. John, with not knowing when it's going to come in this month, should we suspend the rules
it's going to be here May the 11th.
so we could wait until the,
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have it May 11th.
Wait till next meeting.
Yep. We'll move to ordinance number 2021-009, an ordinance prohibiting deadly weapons from the Delaware County Justice Center and the Delaware County Juvenile Court. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Emily Anderson, Court Administrator. The Security Committee all approved this ordinance for the new facility. We had one at the old facility. We needed to get this implemented if we could today to suspend the rules. It's pretty straightforward. The only thing we added is the last paragraph that employees could now carry a gun with a gun permit. I know that's going to change. Sheriff, is that correct? That will change at some point with the
With the office holder or the
Yeah.
elected official's approval.
elected official has to approve that, so you have to go to your boss and be approved by your boss to carry, as long as you have that gun permit. So that's the only change from the old facility to this facility. Everything else is the same that we had at the old facility.
Okay.
I'll make a motion, we introduce ordinance number 2021-009.
Second.
Have a motion and a second for introduction. Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes.
You want this right now?
If we could.
I'll make a motion, we suspend the rules.
Have
Second.
a motion and a second, suspension of the rules. Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes.
I'll make a motion, we adopt ordinance 2021-009.
Second.
Have a motion and a second for adoption. Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have anything from any department heads or elected officials? If not, all the commissioners received the weights and measures report this month.
Correct.
We'll move to payment of claims in the amount of $1,563,688.27.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, payment of claims. Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes. And Jenny, we had nobody to sign up to speak. John, do you have anything for us?
There was one question that I saw. was Nathaniel Snow asked, will the county enforce individual businesses' notices regarding mask wearing? So I presume that means that if a business says you have to wear a mask and nobody wants to wear a mask going in there, will the county enforce that?
Sheriff? I think you've made it clear before,
Yeah,
but
Tony Skinner, Delaware County Sheriff. If the sheriff's office is called to a business or a private property, we will assist a business owner or a property owner with regards to somebody who's been asked to leave, who will not leave. Basically, that's a trespass. So we will respond to those, because that's a violation of the law. As far as enforcing somebody's mask mandate on their private property, no. But once they ask someone to leave, that becomes a criminal issue. So we will respond to those.
thank you for that answer. Anything else, John?
That's all that I had.
Okay, nothing further. I'll ask for a motion to recess.
So move.
Second,
Have a motion and a second. Steve, can you call the roll?
Ms. Reagan,
yes.
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes. In recess.